In today's video, so you bought a rower. Now what? Good question. Let's roll intro. So you're thinking of getting a machine, or maybe you bought one already, or maybe you got a hand-me-down from a friend or family member, or you have one that you bought a while ago and it's collecting dust in the basement, or maybe you're just like pondering the idea because your doctor told you should, and well, that's a pretty good recommendation. This video is for you. The rowing machine is arguably one of the most useful workout tools that you can buy for your own home purposes or that you can use in a gym setting. Doctors recommend them for a multitude of reasons, not least of which are its ability to improve cardiovascular health from a standpoint of aerobic or anaerobic capacity, as well as strength and strength endurance or muscular strength endurance. Gyms and trainers love the machine because it acts as a really great placeholder, as I like to put it, to create suffering. So inserting it into a workout amongst other things, it's always a really great way of just knowing that you can get somebody breathing heavy and working hard pretty quickly and easily, and it works for almost anyone. And historically, rowing is one of the first competitive sports, and it's been around forever, so it's got that going for it.
There's a world of bloody difference between rowing to escape the police and rowing like a champion in competition.
They couldn't break his records.
And just generally, the machine gets you really, really fit in a lot of different ways. And frankly, if John Krasinski is using it, who am I to argue with its effectiveness? But getting the machine is the easy part. The hard part is making sure that you actually know what to do with it and that you're using it so that you get the most out of it. And that's why today we're going over the top 5, read them 5, things that you need to do as soon as you get a machine in your possession. So for those of you who just picked up a machine, have a machine, are thinking about getting a machine, and are wanting to make sure that you use it effectively, this one's for you, my friends. So one of the hardest parts of this machine is that it doesn't come with an instruction manual. It's got like moving parts, but they all do things independently. Then it's got some fixed parts, and frankly, if we're talking about this machine, it's a learned movement. It's not natural. In all the time that I've done this, I've never seen anybody sit on the machine and do it correctly the first time. You have to learn the movement, and therein lies part of the challenge. No instruction manual, moving parts, and what you're left with if you don't understand how to use it is that this thing just becomes a massive like space taker-upper where it just begins to collect dust and never gets used because of the confusion behind the thing. So today, we're gonna clear that up and make sure that this machine makes sense, you approach it with a plan, and becomes one of the most useful purchases you've ever made. So thing number 1 is find your storage solution. Now, I can speak to this machine specifically, the concept too, but did you know that it comes apart into 2 pieces? Now this can be effective when you're traveling with it, but it can also be effective for storage if you have a tighter space. So all you have to do is there's a little latch here. Lift up on that latch, lift up on the 2 pieces, and you've got 2 separate storage pieces which are frankly not that tall, and it's quite effective for storage and travel purposes. With it like this, you can fit a lot more of these in the back of an SUV, or a Mini in my case, than you could if you kept the whole thing as 1 unit. Now make sure that you check with your manufacturer of whatever machine you have, but you should have a storage solution in place so that you know exactly where it's going to go every time and how. The last thing you want is for this to just get stuffed in a corner because you don't have a plan for it. Now with that being said, I can almost assuredly say that none of these can or should live outside. Most of the time there's some kind of electronic component which is not going to be happy if it has to go through the elements on a regular basis. This monitor, for example, is the most expensive piece of equipment on the machine, does not like to get wet. If it has to be outside, it's encouraged that you have some kind of a waterproof cover on it, but ideally you break it in two and part of it goes inside. But the point being, number one is have your storage plan so that you're never left guessing where this thing is going to go when you're done with it, when you're not using it, and then it's easy to get in and out so it doesn't pose a challenge to you. Now, number two is making sure that you have a plan in place as far as what workouts you're going to do and when. Now, why is that important? Well, most of you would not perform surgery on yourself if you had some kind of a medical issue. Similarly, you shouldn't be coaching yourself if you're not a coach. I have been doing this. This is my job. I'm a coach. I've been doing this for a long time. I still pay a gym membership where I can get coaching because I know that that's a valuable tool to have another set of eyes on me or to follow somebody else's plan when it's not my expertise. And that's exactly why you should find a plan that works for you. Now, if you haven't checked out ours, you can go to darkhorserowing.com/athlete. There you're going to find libraries of workouts. So if you want to get better at a 2K, a 5K, a 1K, calorie rowing, drag factor, all of those are accessible to you on the one plan that we have. And then you're also going to get a daily drill wad, which are 10 to 20 minute workouts every single day where you can just practice the mechanics of the movement. Now, do you have to use our program? No, absolutely not. There are plenty of other programs out there. However, making sure that you have a guide in place will, number one, reduce your excuse for not getting your workouts in. That is a huge hurdle for people because many will just not work out because they don't know what they're supposed to do. They don't know what workouts are good or bad, and so they just don't end up working out. And that's what a plan does for you. It gives you a reason to sit down because you don't have to process or think about what that workout is going to be. Number three is creating a workout space that is repeatable and manageable. Effectively, what I'm saying is create your Zen workout space built around this machine. A lot of people don't end up working out because there are a lot of reasons to not get onto the machine that include just small inefficiencies, and you can clear those out of the way if you create a space that you know every single time is going to be conducive to you working out. For example, when I work out in the mornings, I usually go to a 5:15 class, 5:15 a.m. Yes, that's early. I understand. It's the only way I can work out with a kid. But the point being, I go to 5:15 a.m. class. At 5 a.m., I don't want to be bumping around in the dark, waking my kid up, jiggling my keys, searching for my shoes and my shirt and my shorts, and waking my wife up. I don't want any of that. So the night before, I make sure to take my shorts, my shirt, my socks, any equipment that I'm going to need, my keys, my wallet, my phone. I set everything by the front door so that when it's time, all I have to do is wake up to my alarm. I get dressed because my clothes are laid out in my room. I walk to the front door where my keys and my wallet are hanging out, and I just quietly pick everything up and move out the door, and nobody knows that I'm gone. The same thing goes for creating your workout space. If you need a box that has your bottle of water, maybe a mid-workout snack, a towel, a timer, whatever it is, if you need to put a little box next to the machine so that you've got all those things ready every time you work out, perfect, do that. If you need to make sure that your machine is just in the right spot and that it's oriented the way you need for your workout, do that. Make sure that it's there and ready to go. If you have specific headphones that you use and a playlist that you like to listen to, have those queued up and ready to go because it eliminates steps that you have to take to get to the workout. We're trying to automate the system to make it as easy as possible for you to sit down on this machine and get a great workout. Number 4 is nutrition. Have a plan for what your nutrition program is whenever you have a workout. For me, as an example again, when I have those early morning workouts, I can't have food in my stomach at a 5:15 class when I wake up at 4:55. I'm not chowing down food, and I actually prefer to work out in a bit of a fasted state. Now, you may be different. Maybe you work out at 5:30 in the evening, you have to eat dinner before, or you eat right after, or you work out at noon, and so you have to time it with your lunch. Just know what your program is. If you need to have a little bit of some kind of shake before the workout to give you energy, maybe you prefer to have a little bit of coffee beforehand, or maybe you need to spend the morning making sure you consume enough water so that you're hydrated, or that you have the right blend of salts and magnesium, or there are so many different things that you can do when it comes to workout nutrition. Again, that's a whole different video. But have your plan in place and know exactly what you're going to execute the day of. The last thing you want to do is show up for a workout scrambling for what your nutrition plan is, or in the worst case scenario, you just crushed a huge meal and now you have to worry about the GI distress that can come from having a belly full of food and all of a sudden having to redirect blood elsewhere so that you have to work. And that is what starts to create that like feeling in your stomach, and nobody wants that. And number 5, in my opinion, is one of the most important factors to creating longevity for yourself and making sure that you will continue with your workout program, and that is having a strong binding community that is going to support you through the process. Now, the first step to that is making sure that the people immediately around you are in support of what you're doing. If you buy a rowing machine, it takes up half of your house, and your significant other isn't very happy with the fact that that machine is sitting in the living room, guess what? It's gonna be real hard for you to get excited about your workouts because you know that that thing is gonna cause a fight every time it comes out. On the other hand, if both of you go into it together with that knowledge that you made this choice, it's gonna be a whole lot easier for a workout. Now, again, I'm gonna be selfish here, but Dark Horse has created an incredible community for our athletes. When you sign up for our program at darkhorserowing.com/athlete, you get access to our Facebook community where all of our athletes live. You can ask questions, you can get video reviewed of your technique, and our coaches will take a look at it and give you guidance. These are things that are going to create a supportive community that make it easy for you to succeed because there are other people in your corner, and that's huge. The element of success when you have people in your corner cannot be underestimated. Now, there are a lot of other great resources out there as well. For example, Concept 2 has a great logbook where people constantly track their workouts, take part in online competitions that come about regularly, and those are extremely helpful. You can go to Reddit. That's a fantastic place, although, you know, Reddit being Reddit, it sometimes gets weird. However, there are no shortage of places to go and find other like-minded individuals who are going to support you in your efforts. Just make sure that you find the one that's right for you. So, if you're thinking of getting one of these machines, you've got one and it's collecting dust, or you have one and you just don't know what to do with it, this is your 5-step process. Number 1, to come up with your storage solution. Number 2,
tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure.
pick a program. Number 3. Oh God. Number 3. I forgot. Hold on. Number 3, make sure it's repeatable and manageable. Number 4. 4 was, number 4 was nutrition. Nutrition, iron out your nutrition ahead of time. Number 5 was find a strong community. 5 easy to remember tips that are gonna make your life successful with this machine. And as always, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dark Horse Rowing. If you loved this video and you want more, make sure that you hit that subscribe button up around that area. And if you really love it, ding that little bell next to it so that you get alerted every time we come out with a new video. And as always, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in. John Krasinski does it, who am I to argue? I mean, I'm attracted to the guy. So is my wife. Well, let's like feeling in your stomach, and nobody wants that. Start that over.